John Oliver, the HBO. Well, he does what
Trevor Noah.
Trevor Noah does,
Yeah.
but on HBO, he's a white guy.
John Oliver,
Oh,
he does that. Oh,
Yeah.
you watched that?
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you watched the
funny.
Venezuela one? He does he breaks it down. Like he's super funny. I watched it.
Oh, you talking about the one that's always sound like he drunk?
No.
Oh, okay.
John Oliver is John Oliver.
No, not John Oliver. The other guy. There's another guy who's on. I think he's on HBO as well. But anyway, before I get into that, right? So he was showing like the white guy. He was talking to the police, and he's just yelling at him. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? So I'm like, wait. How is this white guy still alive yelling at this cop? He's like, do you know the First Amendment? I'm like, what? Pop. And then the cop put the seatbelt on this motherfucker inside the paddy wagon. I was like, he was like, sir, just sit down in here and put the seatbelt on him. I'm like,
wouldn't have happened if he was black.
I'm like, the first time that niggas even were opening their mouth is
you're under arrest for resisting.
I was like, yo, what the fuck is going on? But yo, John Oliver is funny though. But as I was watching, I'm like, that's the whole thing I got from that whole entire thing, even though he said a whole nother bit.
Throughout the whole entire thing that I got with this is, yeah, we fucked as Black America, but also white America's fucked too, and that's why Trump's president.
True.
Because literally, I'm feeling like they're keeping the black man down, but they're just keeping the poor people down.
Oh yeah.
And then
they changed
poor people are just stupid enough to think that something's gonna happen, but just like Black America thought something was gonna happen for us, it didn't happen.
Yeah, because it was like now the poor white people. Oh, he's gonna bring our jobs back to us.
You can't fault them for that because
they believe that someone was gonna help them. And you really can't fault them. He, said a lot of good things towards them.
I don't understand why how people don't see that everything that comes out of his mouth is straight garbage.
If you would hear Obama saying, I am going to make sure that you can go back to school for free. I'm going to make sure that there's a job for you. Whatever would, help you.
First off, I would never want to go back to school for free because I already know there's a stipulation involved.
Tell me how you feel about, man, this is just a broad spectrum. And I mean, just a general statement. Think about it like this on how they feel. And I try to every time, anytime I try to make an argument with something, I look at both sides. Mm-hmm. And you kind of have to. There's a law against both sides of the story. Yeah, you got to look at both sides on why. You got to look at this. Some companies are mandated by a certain amount of employees. You have to have a certain demographic there, so at least 1%. Literally, you can't have 100 employees and they all white. It's illegal. Mm-hmm. You have to. So when you think about it like that, it's like you're gonna hire this minority when they're already a minority. They just don't know it, and then they're thinking, okay, well, I could have got that job, but they had to hit their quota with how many black people and Spanish people they need to work there. Yeah, and then on top of that, I was at I went to AutoZone in Whitehall, and literally the dude, I was like, yo, they building this new AutoZone right there on the big AutoZone. He was like, oh, it's not that big. They blocking off the back and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, okay. I was like, all right, well, but it looks crazy. I was like, you gonna go work over there? He goes, no, they have a quota over there. It's kind of crazy. You need to have bilingual. You're gonna need to be bilingual. Okay. And he's like, it's messed up. I was like, why would you say that? He's like, because all those Spanish people over there, and I can't get a job because they got all those Spanish people over there. I was like, well, you gotta understand. He's like, but it's not fair. I'm like, it's not fair to who? You already work at AutoZone.
Yeah, you're not losing anything.
And he goes, don't.
You just can't go to the next location.
He tried to play it off, so I was like, you know what? Let me feed into this, and then I tried to record it, but I didn't record it in time. Cause I love recording people when they say some ridiculous shit. Ridiculous shit.
My hiring manager.
Well, let me finish this real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
But basically, the dude was just overly racist. I was like, yo, where do you live? He I live in deeper in Whitehall. I forgot what the name of the town is, but he's it's deep Whitehall. And Whitehall literally name was Whitehall because of the Ku Klux Klan. Kutztown is like Ku Klux Klan, like that's where they was like actually hanging people.
I
Kutztown.
didn't even think about that.
But that's where it is.
Wow.
Kutztown. You got Whitehall. There was like, if you could look at the demographic in Whitehall,
Yeah.
it's majority white anyway. And on top of that, they whitewash a lot of shit, and they don't
fucking
like.
taxes is extremely high if you're black.
No, it's not if you're black. They just the taxes
Really?
are extremely high. That's how they keep.
They
That's
don't
how
want
they keep
people
black
coming
people
in
out.
because they can afford it.
So they make the house cheap, but the tax is high.
I'm saying if you're black because I you know how much you're
Yeah, but you can't say that.
Resist paying
See,
taxes.
that's a.
But a black person will come in, ooh, this house can cost X, Y, and Z, and then they find out the taxes. Oh no, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
White people say, okay, I'm gonna come, but black people will turn them away.
That's what I
So,
said. If you're
Those
black,
are things that
again, that's
that
gonna
they're
keep me
doing
away. If it's
because
too
they
high.
want to keep the demographic a certain way. They want a certain audience there.
But listen to what I just said. It's exactly what you're saying, but I'm just saying it more rudely, I guess. If you're black, you're not trying to pay that. You see what I'm saying?
You can't say that because
A
there's
certain couth.
there's
Okay.
certain white people that's actually broke too. You can't only say black.
Yeah. I
You gotta-
think
Yo, you
I'm
gotta-
speaking for me. I don't
Because
care
I think
I don't care what they have to think because
that's how I
honestly,
felt too. But you gotta also see it the other way.
Yeah,
because you're not
people
alone in
I
this
can't.
battle.
I
You're
can't.
not
I can't
alone
see
in the
I
battle.
can't see it the other way because you want to know why?
You have to.
Hold on, listen. Let me tell you why. I have been in a situation, right, where I know I'm not rich or none of that, right? I know this white guy, he's not rich at all. He can get a job before me. He can get credit cards before me. He can get a loan before me.
No, you can't get
Yes.
loan before you.
Okay.
Listen,
For
listen,
what
listen.
reason do you know?
A
that
loan
you
at
got
a
it?
decent rate. Let's get it. Let's
No,
get it.
that's not true.
I'm
I learned a lot, bro.
And I'm
telling you right now.
and I'm telling you, right? He has gotten all of this before me. And you wanna know how I know? It's because we signed it up together.
What's his
And
credit
just-
score?
His credit score, mine was at a 550. I was low. I was very high as far as credit risk goes. His own is in the low 600s somewhere.
That's why he has a better credit score.
I know.
But it's
But it's those
But-
differences.
I know.
it's differences.
It's not
It's-
I know,
It
but
has nothing to do-
mine's only was like that because I didn't my student loan. See, he didn't go to school. He didn't have any student loan. So mine went down because of my student loan because I was defaulted on it. So I was like, they had the money to pay for
But
it.
you got things against you.
That's what I'm saying.
Mhm.
So that little
They don't
thing,
care why you.
little thing, and then on top of that,
That's
because
why they call it systematic racism. It's
No,
not
because
literally black people.
we didn't went to school together. That's what I'm trying to get at. He didn't have student loans because the people in the office, they treat him differently. They told me something different than what they told him. When I went in the office, they told me, oh, if you just bunch it up together, you get it paid right away, and you don't have to worry about it. Plus, when you go to school, if you you get like 3 months worth. If you're in there for 3 months, your first semester, if you find that you can't do it, we'll go ahead and terminate your papers or whatever. I was like, 3 months, all right, that gives me a little bit of time to fill out what school, what the thing is like or whatever. I became cool with this dude. And it was like, you know what, let's go ahead and do it because I was trying to see what else loans I can get because I was like, working is not going to cut it when I'm trying to work, school, and pay for everything else because phone bills back in the day, we already know how high fucking phone bills were.
Yeah.
It's just like car insurance now. You know what I mean? So I was like, all right. So I was like, all right. So we went ahead and just tried it. So he wound up getting everything. I'm like, how did you do that? He's like, oh, the office, they told me such and such, and I'm like, nah, they said if you bunch it up, it's a lot cheaper. I was like, that's not what they told me. I was like, what do you mean?
There's also this other thing with so there's a thing where this is a theory. I'm just saying it's a theory because it might not be true. If your parents is a piece of shit, you're gonna be a piece of shit, and your kids are gonna be a piece of shit. And it sounds messed up, but if your parents is in a system getting welfare, food stamps, and all this stuff like that, you're gonna end up, and then your kids are gonna end up that way. So in the system, when you, and I'm not talking about with that personal thing, but in general senses, like say I wanted to get assistance with Josh so I could put him in daycare and stuff like that. I had to jump through hula hoops and all that stuff. For all of that for them to deny me. Now, if my parents was to put me in that stuff, and then I was to put Josh in there, it would have been a lot easier. But the reason being, it was harder for me because my parents was a piece of shit. So when you go to school, and I'm bringing it all back to the school thing. When you go to school, the first 5 years of you going to school, you have to have your parents' information. So even though you're 18, all the way to you're 23 or 25, I think, there's a certain age when you go to school, you still need to have your parents' information. Even if they're not helping you, you still need your parents' information.
Yeah, I never understood that.
So the reason why they do all of that, it's all systematic stuff. It's like, okay, your parents didn't go to school, you're more than likely not to finish, so we're not going to help you as much as we're going to help someone that's bloodline continuously went to school. Your parents dropped out of school, they can find out all this information because it's all in the computer. That's why it's called systematic racism and not blatantly racist. It's all how to keep someone down and all how to build someone up. So that's why, like, me personally, I know Josh is going to have a long trial to run, but, like, I'm not going to assist him on every step because he has to learn. But the information that we can give and provide is the only key that we have to success. Like, literally, talking with these insurance companies, you would never think it, because I'm talking with, like, a white person, he's like, there's no way, you can't tell me. I'm like, I'm telling you right now, that's just the way it is. And he's like, I worked for an insurance company for 19 years or something like this, and they're never done it. I'm like, yeah, because you put in the computer. So you tell me the computer's racist? I'm like, no, the computer system's racist.
Yeah.
That's why they call it systematic. So that's why, like, when it goes to politics or anything like that, if you don't vote, they know you don't vote, they know you're a piece of shit. If you don't pay taxes,
they really do. Oh, dear God. I get asked that shit all the time. Like, are you voting? I'm like, no. It's like,
Good.
are you ready?